The purpose of this video is to explain the ending to the first chronicle of the Chronicles of Dolores. This chronicle is known as Dreams of Dolores, and I'm the DM for the story known as Rune Rook. I really appreciate you listening to it, and hopefully you don't get too confused. So when it comes to the picture you see in front of you, the black hair woman is named Rain, the brown hair woman is named Rose, the green hair woman is named Ispa, the blue hair woman is named Ailani, the kind of white purplish hair one is named Ravelin, the red hair woman is named Valerie, and then the lava colored hair woman is named Hestia. These are the 7 Dreams of Dolores, which represent the first chronicle of this campaign. And the setting is May 12th of 1612, in a world known as Dolores and a continent called Ivana. This is where the first Chronicle of Dolores begins. This story begins with a small child named Zareth being cursed by the goddess of creation, Pandora, as punishment for being the forbidden child of the god of light and the goddess of the moon. This curse was meant to make anyone who Zareth loves die. However, there was an opposite reaction that Pandora had not anticipated. Zareth did not love himself. The opposite, he hated himself, which made the curse mutate and made himself immortal. Zareth was abandoned in the mortal realm and lived in poverty on the continent known as Ivana. Eventually, Zareth met a powerful woman named Dolores, a sorcerer who had been blessed with Pandora's powers long ago, and the two of them eventually fell in love. Over time, they both grew to be powerful, working together to defeat Pandora in battle, freeing themselves of her and killing her ultimately inside an underground city known as Divania. Pandora's spirit was able to see the future of the world and spread her message over the stars for the 12 Chronicles of Dolores. Dolores and Zareth's power and love bounced off each other until Zareth created a demon known as Zyra to serve him. This demon was jealous of Dolores and forged a rift between them intentionally. This ultimately resulted in Zareth and Dolores breaking up. Zareth went off to gain more power, while Dolores traveled the continent while carrying Zareth's child in her stomach, a child that she decided to keep as a secret from him, ultimately giving the child to a friend of hers who intended on leaving the continent. Dolores lent her power to the woman to protect the child on her travel across the ocean. The woman had her own daughter as well, a young girl who would come to be known as Tora. Calamity, who was Zareth and Dolores' child, along with Tora, who would grow up on the continent known as Dornia. Zareth and Zyra continued to grow in power and began killing people senselessly. Dolores arranged a meeting for her and Zareth to meet up. During the meeting, Dolores had attempted to defeat Zareth and stop him from hurting more innocent people. When that failed, she casted a powerful, sub-zero, life-transference barrier spell. Dolores and Zareth were both sealed away inside a crater of ice, both suspended in an eternal state of animation. Zyra attempted to break the barrier to free his master and father, Zareth, but none of his methods worked. Zareth, an immortal wizard who was sworn to destroy the world, was betrayed by the love of his life, a woman known as Dolores, in the year 88. It took over 1,000 years for Zyra to finally figure out how to break the barrier that Dolores had placed on herself and Zareth. Over the centuries, he had tried every method that he could think of: barrier removal spells, curse removal spells, and even human sacrifices to fuel him with the power to just overpower Dolores' magic. But none of it worked. The key was to use Dolores' magic against her. Zyra hunted down the descendants of women that were marked by Dolores during her travels. He manipulated the selected women, the players of this campaign, into meeting him inside the cave that Zareth and Dolores were sealed inside. Zyra started a ritual to free Zareth and Dolores. The players, who would come to be known as the Dreams of Dolores, managed to mess up the ritual, but only partially. Zareth and Dolores were freed from the barrier, but only in their child forms. Their memories and powers were gone, but only for the moment. Throughout this story, the Dreams of Dolores desperately tried to stop Zyra from corrupting young Zareth, but ultimately they fail as the real Zareth returns. The real Dolores returns as well, but it proves to not be an equal battle. The Dreams of Dolores are forced to retreat to an underground city known as Davania after he uses the Reaper Death Seal spell, which enslaves thousands of people around him. Zareth continues to assemble an army of thousands of cursed soldiers to serve him. Zareth and Zyra march across the land in search of the Dreams of Dolores. In time, the Dreams of Dolores discover that they are not the main goal for Zareth. Zareth has discovered that he can do more than end the world. He can end the universe. There is a device called the Everywhere Clock, created by the Everywhere Man and the smartest man alive. It keeps this world hidden from the eyes of the Judicator, a being who wants to destroy all the worlds in the universe. This world is the only one that still exists because of this device concealing its presence. Zareth believes the whereabouts of this device will be revealed by reading the mind of Pandora's dead body, a body that he and Dolores left in the underground city known as Davania, the same one that the Dreams of Dolores were currently hiding inside. The Dreams of Dolores arrived in Davania and worked to unite the people inside, in which they were successful. The Dreams of Dolores fought bravely to stop Zareth from entering the city and getting what he wanted. They created a powerful barrier to keep him out of it, but it wouldn't last forever. On September 17th, year 1612, after months of using a powerful barrier spell to repel Zareth and Zyra and their army, it finally went down when Zyra sacrificed the lives of 1 million slaves to destroy the barrier created by the powerful mage known as Cleo. The Dreams of Dolores, along with all the citizens of the underground cities, fought against Zareth and their army. It was an epic battle in which Zareth suffered massive casualties. Zareth had 8 lieutenants of his Dark Order, and the Dreams of Dolores managed to kill 7 of them. Zareth and Zyra proved to be too powerful, however. Dolores fought alongside the Dreams of Dolores, but was subdued by Zareth and captured. Rain was the first one to die. Zareth used the Shadow Sword to slit her throat brutally. She died pregnant on the ground, while her husband Chase ran to her side but was killed by Zareth as well. Hestia quickly jumped in to avenge them. She had returned from her trip outside to help defend the Dreams of Dolores, but Zyra caught her by surprise and punched a hole through her stomach, killing her. Markel tried to save her, but was blown away by a negative energy ball sent by Zareth. Ispa and Ravelin, along with their loves Gavin and Sean, all tried to coordinate an ambush against Zareth to take him hostage. Zareth saw through this as he shot lightning at them, killing all of them on the spot. 4 out of the 7 Dreams of Dolores all laid on the ground dead by each other. Valerie, Rose, and Ilani were tasked with finding the body of Pandora before Zareth did, so that they could destroy it. They opened the gate into the catacombs. Rose and her husband Clark take it upon themselves to shut the gate, claiming that they would hold off Zareth and Zyra, while Valerie and Ilani looked for Pandora. All that mattered was stopping him from finding the Everywhere Clock. Tears filled Valerie and Ilani's eyes, but they forced themselves to search deeper into the catacombs. Rose and Clark killed each other under the control of Zyra. Cleo, Lionel, Castor, Cedric, and Osiris all followed Valerie and Ilani as they ran deeper into the catacombs. They get to where Pandora's body is meant to be, but it's not there. All that is there is a tablet on the floor. It appears blank until Valerie and Ilani shine their marks of Dolores over the stone, and it reveals the words on it. It says, Chronicles of Dolores at the top, and then, my final words before I became a traveler, Pandora. The message ultimately says, only those who I foresee being one of the 12 Chronicles of Dolores will be able to see this message. The Judicator's weakness is love. I believe that has something to do with why all the Chronicles are groups of women fighting for what they believe in. However, until this world is one of pure love, it is in danger of the wrath of the Judicator. The Everywhere Clock is a device that keeps us safe. I have separated it onto 12 continents of this world. If the pieces are gathered together and the Everywhere Clock is turned off, then the world shall end. Please ensure this doesn't happen. Zareth is my greatest mistake. I am sorry to all those affected by him. May love guide you. The message ends on that quote. Upon reading this message, Valerie and Ilani destroy the tablet. Zareth and Zyra arrive. An epic battle takes place. But in the end, Valerie and Ilani, along with their allies, lose. They all lay on the ground dead, except for Valerie and Cleo. Osiris and Cedric fought bravely together against Zyra, but Zyra turned them into ashes. Castor and Lionel both proved to be powerful adversaries against Zareth, but his immortality gave him the edge, resulting in both of them being killed. Zareth shot a negative blade at Valerie's heart, but Ilani jumped in the way, taking the shot, dying on the ground with tears in her eyes. Valerie felt true anger at Zareth as she prepared to fight until the end. However, Cleo stopped her and told her that he was going to use his reserved magic, along with her mark, to broadcast a message to the world, one that only Zareth and Zyra would not be able to hear. Cleo gave Valerie a few seconds to send her message to the world. Whether the world took the message seriously or not was up to them. This message happened 30-ish days before the second chronicle. Tora used her Mark of Dolores to cancel out the message to all those in Dornia. Other continents, including future chronicles, are likely to have heard the message. Valerie sends her message. Valerie and Cleo are then killed by Zareth and Zyra. The battle was over. The Dreams of Dolores were killed. This was the end of the first chronicle. The god of fate witnessed this and knew that a large part of why they died was because of the interference of the gods. He decided that he would try his best to ensure that another chronicle didn't end like this. Zareth and Zyra were frustrated by the lack of Pandora's body. Zareth proceeded to spend the next month conquering the entire continent of Ivana, making everyone into his servants. They all either died or bent the knee. Zareth finally discovered the piece of the Everywhere Clock. Now having the piece, he created a compass that could track other items with a similar magical signature to it. He now assembled an army of ships to track down all the pieces of the Everywhere Clock, all to bring the Judicator here and end all life. On November 24th of the year 1612, Zareth and Zyra begin to set sail on the ocean. Their destination set for wherever the compass took them. Dolores was a prisoner to Zareth, but she was summoned by Tora and Dornia that very same day. Tora proceeded to kill Dolores at the beginning of the second chronicle, known as the Promises of Pandora, which takes place in Dornia. Zareth and Zyra's quest for the Everywhere Clock did not stop as they continued their hunt. The world was truly in danger now, and the Chronicles of Dolores would decide its fate. Make sure to check out the Promises of Pandora along with other future campaigns to find out what happens in the Chronicles of Dolores.